Thanks, Sam. Hey, everybody. My name is Mike Sasaki. I'm the wholesaler with AIG. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you all today. All right, perfect. So, as Sam mentioned, I'm the AIG wholesaler. I live in Houston, Texas. We have a guaranteed issue whole life insurance product that is super easy to use. We've had it in market for about 5 years, and I represent what we call the transactional markets group here at AIG. What we do is we focus on you as the end producer. We know that you guys are very busy. You're out servicing the clients, you're out driving to meet them in the home or talking to them on the telephone. And the application process is the last thing that you want to have to worry about. So, what we've done is we've built a really, really simple e application. It takes about 15 minutes to get through the product from start to finish. And I'm going to go ahead and train on the product today and the clients that'll buy guaranteed issue whole life insurance. So we target the senior markets in the US. There's 81% of consumers that say burial coverage is the main reason for owning life insurance. There's 41 million consumers that don't have life insurance but say that they need it. And there's 50 million Americans that intend to buy life insurance with some sort of living benefit, which we call long term care. Now, the market opportunity with the middle to lower income seniors is huge. There's some big numbers that we're looking at on the screen, and it's all important for us to work together as the insurance company, the insurance agency, and ultimately the end producer like yourself to make sure that we're serving our end client and helping them buy life insurance. All right. So, what are some reasons your clients would consider AIG life insurance? Bullet point number one is they don't want to take a medical exam. The guaranteed issue product, there's absolutely no underwriting questions whatsoever. As long as they have a social and they're between the ages of 50 to 80, we can take the applicant. And there's absolutely no underwriting. So, regardless of their health, we're able to offer them a policy. The bullet point number two says they have a desire for permanent coverage. Many of you may have heard the old term versus permanent insurance argument. Dave Ramsey often promotes buy term, invest the difference. And a lot of your consumers may have an opinion on what type of product they want to buy. So we offer a whole life insurance policy. It runs stage 100. And so if they live 10, 15, 20 years, they're not going to outlive that plan and have that policy go away. Bullet point number three is definitely the highlight of the slide. They want to buy coverage for final expenses. They want to take care of their future expenses so that when they do pass away, their loved ones aren't burdened with funeral, burial, cremation, any miscellaneous medical bills, credit card debt, stuff like that. Bullet point number four is they'd like to leave a modest legacy for their family. Now, we're offering coverage up to $25,000 if they buy, let's say, the max amount of coverage. They could use 10 to 15,000 to take care of their final expenses. That leaves about $10,000 left over. They can use that for a grandchild to help go to college. They can use that for a family member to pay for a house or buy a big purchase, maybe buy an engagement ring or a wedding. So you never underestimate the power of life insurance and what that can do in terms of a legacy. And then last but not least is clients that live on fixed income who require non-fluctuating premiums. We offer a fixed premium policy. And regardless of how long they keep the coverage, that premium is going to stay the same. So your clients know that the premium that they're signing up for is what they're going to pay for the life of the policy. Regardless of their budget, they're going to be able to afford the premium because it's something that they plan for. All right. So face amounts are 5,000 up to $25,000. The issue ages are ages 50 to 80. And how the benefit works, if your client passes away of a health-related death in years 1 through 2, it's going to be premiums back plus 10%. If at any point they pass away of an accident, the full face amount is paid from day one. And once your client gets to that third policy anniversary, the full face amount is paid for a health related death. This is pretty standard in guaranteed issue products because there's no underwriting on the front end. The insurance companies do have graded death benefits just so we can make sure that the product is profitable. There's good persistency on the product as well. We have two living benefit riders. We have a chronic illness and a terminal illness benefit. Both are built into the product. How the chronic illness rider works is it's going to return the premiums back, capped at 25% of the face amount if your client becomes chronically ill. This means that they're not able to perform 2 of 6 daily living activities, which include bathing, feeding themselves, getting dressed, making decisions, et cetera, et cetera. And rider number two is a terminal illness benefit. This is a 24-month life expectancy. So if a doctor tells your client that they have 24 months or less left to live, then we're going to accelerate 50% of the death benefit. They can use this money for whatever they please. They can pay for bills, they can um, take a trip, they can pay for daily living expenses. There's no limits on what this money can be used for. All right. So we do have a short pay feature built into the product. This is called max payment age. What we're looking at here is the issue ages on the left, the age of the client on the right, the gender, and the death benefit that they'd buy. Now, an example here is issue age 50. If you're selling guaranteed issue whole life to a client age 50 and they fit this bracket, by the time they get to age 80, their premiums are done. So if they live into their mid 80s or 90s, they're no longer going to need to pay premiums. This is a nice short pay feature. We'll notify your client that they no longer have to pay those premiums. The policy will remain active until maturity, which is age 100. All right. So we're going to spend a few minutes talking about some of the rules on the application. It's extremely important in the segment that we're serving that we protect our seniors as the insurance carrier, as the insurance agency, and as the insurance agent. Many times you may see an adult family member who's involved with their mother or father helping to pay for bills or pay for rent or make decisions. Oftentimes they may also help buy life insurance. And so some of these rules come into play as family members are helping their parents with different decision-making opportunities. So bullet point number one is we do require the insured and the owner to be the same person. The payer can be a different person. So if a third party wants to pay for the life insurance, that's totally okay as long as there's some sort of insurable interest. We do require a social security number for the insured. And we do have a rule where there's one policy per applicant in a 12-month period. This doesn't happen too often, but where this may occur in your guys' daily practice is if somebody wants to reissue or buy more coverage. Let's say you met with them today. 2 months later, they call you up, they say, hey, Mike, I really like this AIG plan. Can I buy more coverage? Or can I reduce the face amount to get a more affordable premium? That would be where this rule would come into play. Bullet point number five is we do have a cap of $25,000 of coverage with the guarantee issue plan. So if your client wants to buy 50,000, for example, we do limit it at 25,000. Bullet point number six, there's no replacement or conversion into guaranteed issue whole life. The second to last bullet point talks about payment options. This would be a niche with our product compared to some of the competitors. So for payment options, we accept EFT, credit cards, debit cards, and the Social Security Direct Express card. This is very common in the segment of the population that we're serving. And then the last bullet point talks about future dated premiums. We have some nice payment functionality built into the application where you can select pay today, pay in the future, or you can match it to the Social Security deposit calendar. So if your client gets their money, let's say on the second Wednesday of the month, based on their birthday, you can go ahead and choose that in the application. So long story short, if you have an auto functionality to fit your client's situation, regardless of when they want to pay their premium. All right. So we do have chargeback rules built into the product. If the policy lapses in months 1 through 6, it is a 25% chargeback of the commissions that we've paid you. If there's a death claim in year one, it is a full chargeback to commissions. And if there's a death claim in year two, there's a 60 or a 50% chargeback to commissions. This math is calculated dependent on whether your advanced commissions are paid as earned. So depending on how we pay you, we're just going to do simple math for the lapse and chargeback situations here. All right, so let's spend a few minutes looking at some of the competitors. There's a lot of nice name brand carriers in the final expense space. We have America, we have Gerber, we have John Hancock, Mutual of Omaha's Living Promise, and the New York Life product. The takeaway here is you see a lot of us participate in the same ranges of coverage. The issue ages are very similar. A lot of us are ages 50 to 80 here. Mutual of Omaha does go a little bit lower and a little bit higher. And a lot of us do offer the same 110 return of premium. You can see America has a 3-year tiered approach, and New
Hola.
York Life offers a little bit higher when it comes to the
Este,
benefits.
a ver, estoy viendo aquí el bill. Fue así como que tú haz todo lo que quieras.
All right, and then from top to bottom, we think at AIG we're offering the most robust value proposition. You can see we have those living benefit riders built in with the chronic illness, and then we're one of two carriers here reflected with the terminal illness rider. All right, so let's spend a few minutes talking about price. The green cells indicate where we're cheaper, the red cells indicate where we're more expensive. Mutual Omaha has a great product with good price. We are going to trail them across the board when it comes to price. Gerber is a nice name brand as well. We're about 5 to 6% behind them in price in a majority of cells. We are going to be cheaper than the Americo product, the John Hancock, and then the New York Life product. There's a little bit of balance in the issue ages and face amounts here. All right, so let's talk about process. As Sam mentioned, process is king with AIG. We've really designed a nice application that's easy to use. If you haven't done business with us before, it'll take you 10 minutes to learn our application. You'll create your own username and password, and from there, play around with it. It's really simple and very intuitive. So we'll go ahead and preview what you're going to experience in the application. So the first thing you'll do when you're ready to start an application is you'll hit the quote button. This will take you to this screen right here. You enter the client's gender, their date of birth, the coverage they're looking to apply for, and the state. You'll hit get a quote. And from here, we're going to give you the quote that was requested on the left in dark blue and an upsell opportunity in light blue. The max payment age that we talked about earlier is reflected in this box at the bottom in yellow. This is going to be the real age at which your client would stop paying premiums. So you can tell them, hey, Mr. Client, hey, Mrs. Client, by the time you reach age 82, there would be no more premiums required for AIG for the guaranteed issue. All right. So for the next few minutes, we're going to look at a variety of screens like this. Our ask from the home office is that whenever you see a benefit statement or a disclosure screen, you read that from top to bottom, read it verbatim, and some of them do ask for affirmative yeses. So it's very important to remain compliant and just read the verbiage from the screen here. So this is screen number one in regards to the benefit statement. And then from here, you enter your client's information. The top three questions here are reflexive questions, and we have some nice validation pieces built in to help you make sure you're submitting a clean application. So we can focus on question number two in the middle. This one asks, will the life insurance be replaced? If you do click yes, this is going to give you a pop-up message stating that you violated a rule. So this allows you to know some of those key features that we talked about earlier in the application. From here, you enter your client's information at the bottom. Move on to the beneficiary. We do give you the option to add an additional beneficiary here. You'll see the name and the relationship to the insured. And now we're going to talk about payment. So here we're looking at the payment screen. You'll enter your client's payment options. And then this box in the top right is going to be that future dated premium area. So if your client tells you, hey, Mike, I don't get my money until May the 3rd, you can click on this calendar button. You can select May the 3rd, and that's when their premium would be withdrawn from their account. All right. So we have some additional payment validations built in. That's what you're looking at here in this red box. What we do in real time is we're going to validate the accuracy of your client's payment information. So if their name is incorrect, if the routing and account number is incorrect, the address is incorrect, we're going to give you some hints on what you can ask in terms of the client's information. And then from there, you can correct that information in the application. All right, we have an additional page of disclaimers and disclosures. And from here, we're about 90% of the way through the application. When I said it was easy, I really mean that. We know not every sale goes perfect from start to finish. So if for some reason your client, you lose connection on the phone, or they say, hey, the very famous, I need to talk to my spouse, you do have the option to save the application so you're not losing the progress that you've already completed. You'll do that here. When your client calls you back and says, hey, Mike, I'm ready to pick things back up, You can go ahead and click on the dashboard, restart the application or refine the application, and it'll pick up where you left off. All right, so we're basically done from here. We're going to move on to signatures. We have two signature options. We have a signature in person for mobile devices or tablets. They can literally sign with their finger on your device. And if you're not in person with your client, we do have a signature option that's sent via email. You'll see there's a voice signature option on the right. This is reserved for call centers, for those of you that do business exclusively over the phone. So if that fits your model, by all means, reach out to Sam and I can assist with that process if you're in a call center. All right, we have one more screen of confirmations. The DocuSign is going to go out. It's going to look like this. You'll click through these signature options. Your client will adopt the signature. And we are done from here. So here's the policy number. You guys can see here, the 618 number. This is the number you can give to your client. This will be the number on their policy packet. And at this point, you have an issued application. All right, and last but not least, we have a handful of marketing pieces built for you to use. We have consumer-focused pieces. We have agent-focused pieces that have information that I touched on here today. We have some rate sheets. We have a recruiting flyer if those of you are recruiting new agents into the business. So here's the link. You guys can save this URL. And as we build new pieces and update pieces, this will always be live in the playbook. So I encourage you to bookmark this on your website so you can always have this handy. All right, and we'll close with state availability. The product's in approved in all states with the exception of New York and the state of Maine. If you do business in the state of California, our living benefit riders are not approved. So if you are selling life insurance in California with guaranteed issue, it would be the base life insurance in and of itself. All right, so Sam, that's what I've got to share today. I appreciate the time to talk to you all, and I can pass it back over to you for any questions.
Thank you so much, Mike. Guys, again, this is a product that in the senior market is probably one of the most popular, robust, and it fits a great need. In my time in Medicare, in fact, and it fits everywhere. So if you're ever dealing with selling somebody a Medicare supplement plan, that tends to be exactly the customer for this type of a product. And we've worked with them for a long time. Policies go through. Obviously, they're not underwritten, as you see. They're issued right there on the call at the time of the application, which is fantastic. And there's no follow-up, so it's really not a clunky product. Does anybody have any questions for Mike or any real life implications that they want to ask him about?
All right, silence is golden.
Sounds like it's pretty simple, man. That's what it is. That's the beauty of this product, is it's again, it's easy to understand and it's really easy to process. So if nobody has any other questions, Mike, I'm again, we love this product, so we really wanted to have you on here with some of our new agents that are coming on board, because we know they're going to see those three letters quite a bit.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate the time to speak to you all today, Sam. And I think my sales takeaway for the group here is we've seen a lot of success with agents that focus on final expense leads. You have a bunch of insurance products and insurance carriers to do business with, and a lot of great features out there. You have term insurance, you have index, you have GUL. And with the final expense client, there's so many you can really focus on those final expense leads, purchase them, go out and meet them. It's a 15-minute call. You could do 8 appointments a day. We're going to issue the business in less than 24 hours. And so it really kind of is a wash, rinse, and repeat type of process.
Agreed.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, Mike.